Alright, so we have a duel showcase today, something that I don't do too often. The last one and only one I did was Morbius and Immortal Hulk, but now we have Jean Grey and Dark Phoenix today. Two of my newest Rank 4 characters that have honestly just changed the game already. First up is Jean Grey, a champion that just counters all of the meta skill characters, and the biggest examples right here, Yelena, who is arguably the hardest skill defender right now. So having like the ability to just counter this character is absolutely insane because she is like the most common skill defender right now, and she is very annoying. But as you can see, we can purify our Nero Shocks, convert them into passives, then drop the SP2, which has increased damage output per Nero Shock and Psionic Charge on us. And yeah, this matchup is as good as over because that damage output was insane, because Jean Grey's Daunted actually does turn off Yelena's damage cap, or at least raises it to like 100%, which is just enough for Jean Grey to take advantage and do insane damage. So yeah, Jean Grey is a very fun character. She has a pretty complex kit. Like, you have to gain psionic charges by purifying the Nero Shocks off the opponents, which you do with your heavy attack, and you also gain uncanny charges, which actually come first because you have to gain the maximum amount of uncanny charges to start gaining psionic charges. But yeah, uncanny charges reduce your cost for special attacks, which is why the power bar looks like that. It alters the power bar, and then you drop the SP2, which just does a ton of damage because it's based off your psionic charges and your Nero Shock count. So you just build up the Nero Shocks, you purify them to get the uncanny and the psionic charges, then you drop your SP2 with that, reduced special cost and that increased damage output, and the result is just a lot of damage in a short amount of time. So she is a really good Battlegrounds character, and she crushed that Nick Fury in like 50 something seconds. So yeah, very good, very fun to play as well. Like, I love when characters do goofy stuff, and like that reduced power bar is just very goofy. Now we have this Terrax, and I was like, okay, is this just going to be filler? But it actually isn't, because she does have the force field, and usually characters, if they play aggressively versus Terrax, they will take damage for sure. But Jean Grey has a very beefy force field because her base health is honestly very high. So yeah, it helps mitigate the force field damage, and with the armor break as well, you get that willpower healing to offset any damage that would sneak through her force field. So all in all, she's a very great Terrax counter, which might not be impressive these days, but hey, it's something, right? And it's still very cool and a great showcase of her force field. But yeah, that was a very fast fight as well, man. Like, that was a very good fight time. And now we have some gameplay and story content. We have this Killmonger fight. Of course, Jean Grey does have her really good Thorns reduction while the force field is active. She just straight up takes no physical Thorns damage. It is really good. So like Killmonger, Korg, Attuma, just all completely countered. And like, this character is just so perfect for skill champions, man. She counters like the usual annoying ones like Killmonger and Attuma and Korg, but then she also expands a bit by countering Yelena, who is the skill defender right now. So it's like, this character is just so versatile, and it's like at a point where she is like nearly a must-have mutant character. And you know what, man, you could say that she's the best mutant right now, because like, her defensive value is definitely there, especially right now where like she is still very new and her defensive kit hasn't really been explored too much yet. So yeah, she has a defensive value right now. She has, of course, the insane versatility and the insane utility to counter skill characters. So yeah, this champion is just like already absolutely insane, and it is really fun to play her as well. So yeah, just like a big W all around, man. She's a great champion. And yeah, there I dropped the SP1, and this matchup is over. So yeah, that was a pretty good fight time as well. Killmonger is a very beefy character, and I feel like this character was more tuned for like those Battlegrounds health pools. So in these higher health Act 9 fights, she might not be like the most flashiest character, but she still has all of that really good utility. So there's something here that I want to note. This is sneaky by Kabam. They like said that, okay, this isn't physical thorns, it's just them doing physical damage to you whenever you strike them, which, hey, is thorns, but because of the way it's worded, it's not really counting as physical thorns, so Jean Grey doesn't take, zero damage from it. She does take damage from it. However, just like the Terrax thing, she does have access to the force field, which is very, very chunky and pretty much reduce all the damage that we would have taken from the physical thorns. So yeah, there you go, man. She is still a very good counter to like any damage back that isn't like super impactful. But now we have another skill character. We have this Attuma right here, and you could say like this is the final boss of thorns, because yeah, he has a ton of it. And also keep in mind that this Jean Grey right here is awakened, and when she is awakened, she has a new ability while her force field is active, which gives her the ability to parry. And when, I mean, okay, she can parry all the time, right? But when she parries and she's awakened, she inflicts a passive stun. So things such as like Killmonger's power gain, Korg's purify, Attuma's like concussion conversion, none of that happens against these skill characters. And additionally, Bullseye's evade doesn't happen either. So yeah, you pair that with that damage output and it's like, oh my gosh, this champion is just insane. But what happens when Jean Grey skips therapy? Well, you get Dark Phoenix, who is just absolutely evil and just crazy to the core, but also one of the coolest characters in this game in my opinion. And I said that these characters are like the new queens of the contest, and I mean that in like different ways obviously. With Jean Grey it's on attack, with Dark Phoenix it is most definitely on defense, but I'm not gonna take away her like offensive use as well, because it's definitely there and it's most definitely worth showcasing. Like for example right here, she does some things that not many other champions do. For example, this Nova Flame is unique to her and Human Torch. This Pulverize is unique to her and just a few other cosmic characters. So she has a very, very good and unique kit that honestly you can't really find anywhere else with like the combination of these effects, right? So I think she's a very good champion both on attack and defense. I think her attack use is a bit limited because while she is a very unique cosmic character, I feel like her uniqueness is better met on defense rather than attack, but she still has some very good bits of utility on the offensive side. So yeah, she has Pulverize, which is very, very good obviously. It is one of the best forms of getting rid of armor up buffs, because there are some nodes such as armor break immunity and some nodes that give like increased ability accuracy to counter like Gladiator and Neutralize. So it's important to have like a multitude of ways to stop armor up, but when it comes to like, you know, being the best at it, I feel like it goes to Pulverize. It is just really, really powerful, and like that's what this character is, man. She has so many things that are just really powerful because of how rare it is and how like just hard it is to stop. Because yeah, the Nova Flame ability is one of the hardest things in this game to stop for sure. But yeah, that was a very good showcase of her Pulverize, and this is just a little showcase of how she interacts with like regular cosmic nodes. So yeah, nothing like too crazy here, kind of a vanilla matchup. Like she just has to have a relic equipped and there you go. So yeah, like this isn't showcasing anything that she does really, but it does show that she like meshes pretty well with these standard cosmic nodes, which honestly I was kind of scared that she wouldn't, because like I said, she is very unique and that can sometimes like hurt some characters. Like for example with Jean Grey, I was trying to find some mutant lanes for her and I really struggled because she is a daunted champion, and Kabam still puts out prowess nodes very, very often. So yeah, that was kind of painful to like find a lane for her, but like with Dark Phoenix here, she meshes just fine with the cosmic nodes because they aren't that tough to deal with. Like they just want you to have a buff, which she does. Obviously she has a lot of them. She doesn't have like a ton of them, right? But she does have access to Fury, which is like the buff to have for a cosmic character, and she also has like power gain Unstoppable, which is honestly very helpful at times. But she also has the Safeguard buff, which is really, really good, and I honestly want to call it like Dark Phoenix's version of the force field, where it just makes her really safe to play. But she also has one thing that you'll see in this fight that makes her really, really safe to play, and it's a defensive ability. And that's honestly what I like about these defenders, because their defensive abilities translate to like being so safe on attack, and you're gonna see like right now what I'm talking about. So the Pulverize, it's doing its job, right? Like Hulkbuster has had pretty much zero armor up for this entire matchup. However, if things get out of hand, there is one thing that is really helpful that Dark Phoenix has, that is mainly for defense. So yeah, here he drops the SP2, no big deal, we pulverize that armor up again, and this matchup is just going really well. The Nova Flame is building up, and this matchup is about to be over. However, he does gain an armor up, which sucks because it actually does give us a shock. However, when Dark Phoenix has 5 Ember Charges active, she reduces the potency of damaging effects, debuffs, like burst damage as well, by 75%. So she is so good at countering like those DOTs that come from champions, however, because it is limited to champions and not nodes. So she is really good for countering those DOT from other characters, but when it's like a quest node, not so much, but that's still very good. But now we have this 1 million health Lady Deathstrike boss, and while this plays, I want to explain how to play this character because I haven't really like explained that yet, so my apologies. But to play her, you want to just double medium and like pulverize armor ups, use your SP1, whatever it takes to build your Ember Charges. Once you have a good amount of Ember Charges, you want to drop the SP2 because you'll gain a Fury buff that scales with your Ember Charges. So you want to have your Ember Charges as high as possible before you drop the SP2. Then after that, you just want to drop SP1s to cycle more Ember Charges. And whenever you drop a special attack, a Nova Flame timer will start. Once it expires, the Nova Flame is active, and that's like a great source of damage output as well. And also like your basic hits with the Fury buff active, obviously. So yeah, very good damage output, and her damage output is so hard to stop because Nova Flame is nearly impossible to stop, dude. It is so powerful. And yeah, this fight is just going so well. We can just spam SP1s with the power gain, and this matchup is over, and that was really fun. So yeah, that was like 1 million health in like a minute and something. Very good damage. And to end this video, I hopped onto the content creator beta, and I wanted to just show like what it looks like when you're against a future Ant-Man, who was, I think, one of the like most annoying tech defenders. Even to this day, with like multiple counters, he is still very annoying with his glancing, his power drain, his high health pool, but Dark Phoenix counters a lot about this character. First off, the glancing is scaling. It usually scales with his armor up count, but she has pulverize, and usually if you try to armor break future Ant-Man, he will gain a passive armor in replacement of the armor up buff, but he has no counter to pulverize in his kit, so like that's really cool. And also, as you can see, the disintegration is on me, right? Like I have that debuff active, but when she's at 5+ Ember Charges, that gets reduced to pretty much nothing except free willpower healing, which is so good. But now we are in our loop, we have the Fury buff active, we can just drop the SP1, get all that damage going with a Nova Flame, and yeah, this is just like where you want to be for sure. Here we go back in, drop the SP1 again, there we get another Nova Flame at the ready, and it is doing a lot of damage. And now we have the armor up to deal with, but we can just go for a heavy attack right here. Then we drop the SP2, get our Fury buff back on, and yeah, this is like 1.4 million health, by the way. There he got some armor up, but like that doesn't matter because of our pulverize, and yeah, the issue's pretty much dealt with already, and this matchup is pretty much over. We go back in with the intercept, drop the SP1 one more time, and that should do it. And yeah, that was an insane takedown, 1 minute and I believe 41 seconds. Very good fight time for a 1.4 million health future Ant-Man. And yeah, Dark Phoenix is a really powerful character, but not just on attack. Her defensive strength is honestly where it's at, and it's just so broken right now. So yeah, these two characters are just absolutely dominating the contest as it stands. So yeah, these characters, really fun to play, really powerful, and I had a great time showcasing them all in this video. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Dark Phoenix and Jean Grey, and yeah, that's about it for me.